Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back into the Bears Den, an NFL podcast with the Chicago Bears First Focus. I'm your host, Alex. Here today, I want to discuss the Bears head coach opening and how attractive of a job do I think it really is. Um, so yeah, we'll go ahead. Right before I get into that, if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button. Growing this channel, I am so close to my first big milestone of 100 subscribers. So if you're new here, you're enjoying the video, you're enjoying the content, I would really appreciate it if you could hit that button. It takes just 2 seconds and it helps me grow the channel. So I appreciate you guys for that. With that being said, let's go ahead. We'll get into it. The Bears head coaching job. So this has kind of been a talking point, really since Matty Eberflus has been fired, and I suppose even before since he was fired, right? Um, with this Bears job, I think when you look at it right away, you're like, okay, it's probably a pretty attractive job. It's the most attractive job in the NFL. You know, if we look at all the jobs that are open, the Saints job, um, the Jaguars we expect to be open, the Jets job is open, Dallas might be open, Vegas might be open. I don't know if they'll get rid of Pierce after one full year of being the actual coach. Um, so those are the jobs that kind of look like they're going to be open. I don't think the Giants are going to be open. I think Dable will stay the coach there, but Giants are potentially, a vacancy as well. When you look at those, what other team kind of compares to this Bears job on paper? And it would be Dallas, right? They have a quarterback, they have a star receiver, they have a star piece on defense. You know, a coach could go into Dallas and theoretically on paper go win that now. Now, the Bears job looks attractive, right? You get Caleb Williams, you get DJ Moore, you get Rome Odunze, you might get Keenan Allen back, right? You get DeAndre Swift for 3 more years. You have some problems on the offensive line that would have to get figured out, right? But on the defensive side of the ball, you get Jalen Johnson, you get Montez Sweat, you get Tremaine Edmonds, you get TJ Edwards. It gets, Jaquan Brisker, Kyler Gordon, good pieces. Looks attractive. And I think for first time coaches, such as perhaps a Ben Johnson, right? You go in there thinking, okay, nice. This roster's pretty much set up. We got the quarterback on the rookie deal, so we can go make some big signings, some big swings, right? And we can go win and contend now. But I think the scary thing with this Bears job is all the positions above the head coach. General manager, he's on a hot seat. If the Bears were to, let's just say for sake of discussion, let's say they were to hire Ben Johnson this offseason, and Ryan Poles is the general manager. And let's say that the Bears have a similar year to this year. Maybe they win 5-6 games in 2025. Is there a world where Ryan Poles gets fired? Yeah, it's possible. So then you have what will then be a second-year head coach with now a new GM, so they're not synced up. So that's kind of scary. You have a president that, for a lot of the season, is off doing his own stuff, working on the stadium, on the business side of the team. But then when it's time to make important football-related decisions, he will meddle in those decisions. He will get in the way. That's a red flag. You have ownership that seemingly doesn't care about the team, except for when it's time to make big decisions, much like Kevin Warren. And they will get in the way and tell you what you can and can't do. They will handcuff you, and that's a big red flag. When Matt Eberflus was fired 2 weeks ago, the press conference was extremely disheartening as a Bears fan. Watching Kevin Warren lead the press conference and essentially dominate the press conference and kind of take a father role with his son sitting next to him, Ryan Poles, who's the general manager of the Chicago Bears. So when I look at that, I'm curious to know who really is in charge. How much power does Ryan Poles actually have? How much power does he actually have in this coaching search? Because a lot of these first-time head coaching candidates, like a Thomas Brown, like a Ben Johnson, it's their first time. They'll come in, they'll most likely do whatever they're told. They'll, you know, respond to whoever they need to respond to, and this function will continue. And so that's my concern, because I don't know if the Bears are going to hit this head coaching hire right on the head. Do they need to get this done correctly, but I don't think they're going to actually do that. And I think they're going to listen to the media, what they're saying, who the big names are. And I do think they're going to hire Ben Johnson. I do. Now, do I think there's a world where he's a good head coach? Yes. But I also think there's just as big of a world as the possibility of him not being a good head coach. There's different types of coaches in the league, right? There's the Kyle Shanahans, the Sean McVays, the Jim Harbaughs, where they can scheme up things on offense, right? That's their strong suit. Sure, they can lead the guys, but their strongest attributes are what they can provide on the field for the offense. Then you have the culture guys, which is more like the John Harbaughs, the Mike Vrabels, the John Grudens, right? Those are the guys that are going to come in, the Dan Campbells. Those are the type of guys that are going to come in. They're going to not tolerate any BS. They're going to clean up the big mistakes, the stupid mistakes, the mental errors. They're not going to tolerate certain stuff. They're going to set the locker room straight. They're going to kick ass if they need to. And they are going to lead the group. And they are going to tell the front office to get out of the way and let them do their job. And that's who I think the Bears actually need. They need a Dan Campbell type of coach. They need a Mike Vrabel. They need a John Gruden. They need one of those types of coaches that will come in here, that will clean up the stupid penalties that this team has, the stupid mistakes, the slacking off, the talking trash to other teams, and will tell, most importantly, Kevin Warren and George McCaskey to get the hell out of the way. Let me do my job. Let me coach this team. Let me bring in the players that I want. Let me work with Ryan to build a team of the players that I want so that we can go win and get the hell out of the way. And don't hinder me from doing that. The only downside to having a coach like that is if you don't bring in a guy like John Gruden who can do that, who's an offensive-minded coach, you bring in a Vrabel, then you have to hit the offensive coordinator job right. You got to nail it. And then when the Bears start winning, you risk losing that offensive coordinator. So the Bears have a very tough decision here. And I do think people are going to want this job. There's a lot of benefits that come with being the head coach of the Chicago Bears. And if you win here, you're going to be a legend in the city for forever. I mean, you look at all the coaches and managers of teams that have won here, right? You look at the 2016 Cubs World Series team, right? They are seen as heroes in this city, right? 2005 White Sox or 2006, I can't remember. The 85 Bears, obviously we know that. The 2010s Blackhawks. The city loves those teams. They are legends. So there's benefits to being here. There's benefits to winning. But how attractive is the job knowing that there's people like Kevin Warren and George McCaskey kind of over your shoulder constantly? I don't know. And it scares me that there's a chance that front office and the management scares away good coaches because they don't want to have to deal with that stuff. So we'll see. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see how these next 2 months go until they hire a coach. And I'm not writing Thomas Brown off either. I see a lot of people saying, making jokes. Okay, his head coaching candidacy is done. Guy was thrust into head coach, in a month essentially, and with a team that's been in free fall since the Washington game. So I'm not going to judge him off of one game, especially when the Bears were going against one of the best coaches in the league. So he gets the rest of the season for me, and then we'll see from there. But those are my thoughts on this head coaching vacancy. Let me know what you guys think down below. Is this an attractive position? Does the front office scare you as much as it scares me? Let me know down below. And as always, if you're new here and you're unsubscribed, please hit that subscribe button really close. And I appreciate you guys listening and tuning in as always. Bear down, and we will see you in the next video. Peace.